Enough with embrace debate. Pointless yelling at each other on ESPN and Fox, yet very little actual content. It's time for a change. A voice from the fan, for the fan. The most compelling topics in sports, all covered here. This is Corbet's Corner.
Okay, this is March. Matt Cruzen, I'm Dylan Corbett. Corbett's Corner on a Friday. Not going to overblow anything here for you, but just going to kind of give a little look at what could possibly happen in the big Power Five conference championships that will be on Saturday, Sunday, Friday. We're going to be watching hoops all day. We might have some content for you there. Matt, first, your thoughts on the Big Ten. Obviously, we're seeing some of the early games get going in the first rounds, but you're obviously waiting for your Illini to get on the court.
Yeah, Big Ten is a good place to start, and so why not start with some teams that have played and are already done for the year, none other than Minnesota.
Man.
My sources indicate he's 100% on the way out. It'll be announced Thursday, so when this pod drops. Yeah. People don't realize he's been here for 8 years. He's only 39 years old, I believe. But I mean, he's had a long, he's had plenty of time and just really never got anything going. Had a couple teams that were good enough to be like second weekend tournament, like Sweet 16, but nothing better than that. Minnesota athletic director is going to have to explain to people how paying him a couple million not to coach is beneficial for the athletic department after just cutting sports because of COVID and not having money. So not fun to be him. Northwestern, they stink. Nebraska, same. I mean, you talk about Nebraska. They next year, if they're bad again, then it's not happening. But I actually think they could be pretty good next year. They have a lot coming in, and they showed me a little bit. How are you seeing it?
Yeah, so I mean, props to Minnesota for finally kind of getting that win over at least Northwestern, because that was one of the more embarrassing regular season losses they suffered, right?
That game yesterday, too.
Oh, terrible, yeah. So they actually squeaked that one out, made it a fight against Ohio State, but yeah, I guess I would kind of Michigan State, how about that, falling flat?
They shouldn't make the tournament.
No. Yeah, Nebraska's Nebraska. Penn State, I had the hook, so I was kind of pissed on that. I was pissed that the Huskers covered 6.5. What do you make of Rutgers coming in? I was on Indiana, so I lost that side. Rutgers, obviously, they've been solid all year long, but they're in arguably the best conference, so they're a 7 seed. They're going to get arrested Illinois Friday, so once this posts.
A rested and healthy Illinois team. I'm glad that they're playing Rutgers. Maybe I'll eat my words. Maybe I'm not. I did not want them to play Indiana again. They beat Indiana twice. As I've said before, it's hard to beat teams 3 times in one season in college basketball. Rutgers, on the other hand, they only played once and they lost, so they owe them one. I think they might come out. No, I really don't think they'll come out slow either. I was going to say they might come out slow, but they'll pull it out. I think Illinois is going to come out firing. They feel very disrespected that they were not said – crowned co-champs of the Big Ten. There was a lot of push for that, like advocating on that. So basically, I mean, Big Ten just stuck to their guns for basketball, saying that they decided winning percentage would decide the conference champion, even though Illinois literally won 2 more games with I mean, the debate is absolutely to be had, and especially because the Big Ten just bent the rules for Ohio State in football. Right. It's like, what's the harm? It doesn't take anything away from Michigan being the sole champ or a co-champ. Last year, there was literally 3 fucking teams that were co-champions of the regular season, and we didn't even find out who won because there was no Big Ten tournament. Anyway, so I kind of like that, though. Illinois is really playing with a chip on their shoulder. You know, they're going to Indiana for the next month. They packed their bags and brought a whole bunch of stuff because they're there for the Big Ten tournament. They know that's where they'll be playing the following weekend, and they plan to be there for a while. So I'm gearing up. It's the first March in a while outside of Bradley last year and the year before where I'm geared up, ready to go. I have a team that is going to be in it for a while. So let's go.
I was just thinking today because this regular season was so shitty for me. I didn't even pay attention barely because Boston College was it's so embarrassing. It's so embarrassing they fired their coach. I didn't even pay attention at all. So hopefully they could rebuild that, get somebody new in. But now I'm starting to get geared up. The March Madness is with me. And to your point about, it's just kind of crazy. This year has been insane. Duke, what happened with them? They're now out of the tournament after piecing together 2 wins. They're done. COVID's just kind of like, what's going to happen if this occurs in the tournament? And kind of a transition to the ACC from there.
Yeah. One thing on BC, I actually saw Patino to BC as a possibility. Dick Patino.
I mean, we'll take mediocrity.
Yeah. So he would fit right in. Duke, LOL. That's hilarious. Yeah. Side note on that. Really, really bad reporting by Goodman and everyone else who said it was a walk-on. That literally narrows it down to like 3 fucking kids. Like, you don't do that to a kid. You leave that, let it be. It was a team player. You don't even have to say it's a player. I mean, throws him under the bus for no reason. Anyway, I think it's hilarious that they're gone. I really hope that, like, they don't somehow get summoned in from another team that, like, 2 weeks from now someone gets COVID. It's like, oh, Duke was first.
Oh, yeah, all right, Duke's ready to play.
One note I did see was like, Duke is out. Drake is a huge winner because of that, because now Duke needed to at least win like 2 more games, if not all the way through the ACC tournament to get in. So opens up an at-large spot for sure. Got to mention UK. Wolf. As I don't know, people may or may not know, I have Kentucky relatives, big UK fans, and there's worst season in UK basketball history, and they're leaving it at that, and they're moving on to what they expect to be a hopeful football season.
There you go.
Another thing that's really heating up, the transfer portal. I feel obligated to talk about Bradley. Shame on Bradley in light of what has come out today. So what came out yesterday was an article saying 3 guys are transferring as expected. Kevin McAdoo probably saw that coming. Antonio Thomas definitely saw that coming. And then also Terry Nolan Jr. saw that coming only because he is still suspended indefinitely for the basketball team. Okay. And then another one comes out today, Daniel Kingsby. We knew that was going to happen. He was graduating anyway. But Terry Nolan and Kingsby sent letters on their own behalf to journalists in the Peoria area saying they have been cleared for the past like 2 weeks, both from the investigation, the police, everybody. No clearance, nothing. What have we heard from the school? Nothing. Not that they're still under investigation, but they've been absolutely silent. So shame on Bradley and anyone involved with that. That's Wardle, that's the athletic director, that's the president, that's everyone involved. They're still supposedly being investigated by the school, and that's fine. But like, you have an obligation to those players to say they're no longer under investigation. No one said he actually was never under investigation to begin with. Like, he was handed a paper, and that was something like that. Really bad. But what they have not said is that Childs was cleared. So if he's still under investigation, maybe he did it. Maybe they're trying to protect him to an extent. I do see that. But overall, just really bad. Bradley has a lot of turnover, which we did expect. But just a really, really bad end of the year, considering a year ago they had just won back-to-back. So,
and rightfully so, Loyola kind of breezed right through. What are some other mid-majors that we saw beginning of this week, last week, that potentially scares you as a low seed come March Madness?
Well, stay right there on Loyola. I saw I keep saying it is the same guy though. It's got Loyola as the 8 seed in
Is
Illinois.
it Lunardi?
Mike DeCourcy.
Okay, Big Ten, yeah.
For Fox. He's got Loyola as the 8 in Illinois' bracket. That terrifies the shit out of me because Loyola, the Valley is always good. We know Loyola can do it. But a team like Loyola can go deep in March because they absolutely lock in defensively. They can shut anyone down. It's a team similar to what Bradley does. When Bradley almost beat Missouri and Xavier, they held 50 points. Defense travels. It travels in March. But then they have guys like Cameron Krutwig who can score, make shots, a lot of good players. So they are obviously one. And I don't want to see a Valley team, period. Drake should get in now. Good for them. A team I was high on early in the year, they kind of faded and just plateaued maybe early. Western Kentucky, they're playing good ball now. They won today. They covered in their quarterfinal, so they're on to the, I believe, Conference USA semifinal. Look for them. They probably need to win to get an at-large bid or to get into the tournament. I don't know that they'd get an at-large. A team that I was really high on but super badly faded was Richmond. I do not think they get in. They lost their first game of the A10 last weekend. That was bad. One that I highlighted I wanted to talk about, not a mid-major, but a team that has been under the radar, at least for me, that's Oklahoma State. They're under the radar because they came into the season with a postseason ban. Can't make the NCAA tournament. Well, in January, they filed an appeal, something that they're allowed to do. While it's under appeal or until it's decided, they are now eligible. NCAA is not going to rule between now and the tournament.
No.
3 days from now.
Especially what they saw Cade Cunningham do. Oh,
right.
They want him in
it's in their best interest to have him in the tournament, 100%.
Yeah.
So now I started paying a little bit more attention. This team is good, man.
Yeah.
They just beat West Virginia for the second time in a week, and on the weekend they were without Cade Cunningham. They were 8 or 9 point dogs. They're good. We'll see how they finish the Big 12 tournament, which that's a doozy. I texted some people today. I was like, well, we're at that point in the Big 10 tournament or Big 12 tournament where we have top 25 matchups. It's Thursday at 8 a.m. in the quarterfinal. I mean, right. So all these games are pretty good, even though Oklahoma got shellacked. But those will probably be the best games this weekend, Big 12 and Big 10.
Yeah, so I'm seeing Lenardi's got him too. Illinois in the 1, and then it's actually Loyola against North Carolina in the 8-9. That's dangerous either way, I think. North Carolina currently down as we're recording this, I believe, or they're at halftime, just getting out of it against Virginia Tech. Yeah, the only other team that I saw that interested me was Liberty. I'm trying to think where I saw him matched up against. Maybe I can't find it, but that was one of those. I mean, Drake's scary too, but I thought Liberty was a team. Winthrop again. We've been talking about them all season. They have only got 1 loss. I think that's potentially a 12 or 11 seed. Those two that could snipe off like a Georgia Tech. I was watching that Georgia Tech game today. I saw them. They were ranked 6th. I have no belief in, what is that, Josh Pastner or whatever?
Yeah, no, they came out of nowhere too. I was like, I remember, I think I faded them a few times early in the November, December, and like profitable. But a thing I saw on that note was like, well, Syracuse wins and Duke's winning. Like if they're playing their way into the tournament, can't believe we're saying it, but the ACC might have 8 teams in the tournament with how bad it's been this year. And it's like it's Virginia and Florida State are like slightly above average, like top 15 teams, and then everyone else is just awful. I mean, Louisville was good for a while, but then finished pretty poorly. Like, I don't know. It's going to be a weird tournament, that's for sure. It's possibly going to be a year like where the 6th seed or whatever seed Kemba Walker was when they were like 6th seed in their own Big East tourney. They had to play 5 games in that, and then they just didn't lose. It could be something like that.
I'm excited. March Madness. He's Matt Cruz, and I'm Dylan Corbett. He's flying high with the Illini. Yeah, you said it. Saturday's going to be one of the best sports days of the year. College hoops all day today, all day tomorrow, all weekend long. This is March, and this is Corbett's Corner. Taping this on a Thursday. We're getting it out to you on a Friday. Working a little double time. We got core trades in the early morning and this in the early afternoon. We might be doing some live content for you as we're going to be catching the games live. Our guy Gino. So we're going to be enjoying some hoops. Matt, appreciate your time. We'll talk to you guys next week.